Did I do that? Yes, sis, you did. This is part 25 of how I discovered I was being cheated on by Carl Winslow. Now, here's the thing. As I'm driving to go pick up this chef coat, before this place closes, it's Atlanta. It's the middle of traffic. I'm talking to my brother. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go pick up a gift for Carl. And he said, I said, yeah, I didn't decide to break up with him. I didn't break up with him, so I don't want to show up empty handed tomorrow. It doesn't feel right. He said, so because you didn't break up, you're going to get a gift in traffic. I said, I know it sounds stupid. Now, everybody who knows me knows I hate traffic with all of my heart. With all of my heart. But like in real life, I really care for Carl. And I wanted it to be special anyway. Just in case we made it around this hump. What if I'm disgusted with you today, but what if we make it back around? And I still wanted it to be special. But my brother was like, that sounds dumb. But without even trying, he wasn't trying to roast me. He just was really trying to make me think about it. And usually my brother is trying to roast me. He was just trying to make me hear it. And I said, I know, but it's already happening. So the embroidery guy said the thing, I just got his last name on it because he usually is cooking at his job. And I got it the color of their work uniforms. And usually he's cooking there, so I wanted it for there. And then, of course, for when we went to go take our cooking class, because it was cute. It was supposed to be done at by 1 o'clock or earlier than that. But I didn't have it in the morning, which ended up being right. So the next morning, Carl picks me up around 9 something, and we go to breakfast. We go to have breakfast together. And all I have at that time is a card, a Chipotle gift card, because I kind of wanted him to think that it was all he was going to get because of that rose situation. The rose in the Shein bag. But I also put in the card a photocopy of a journal entry from when we were in a really, really, really good space. And it was just sweet and thoughtful and an insight into where my mind was with him at that time. Now, I had the hardest time picking cards because they were too deep and I wasn't feeling that. I really wasn't. And so the closest I could get was my own words at just a different time, And while we were at breakfast, he gives me a journal that has 3 things written in there that he wrote and pictures that he got developed from a disposable camera that I got him last December. And he's been taking pictures throughout the year. So they weren't even put in there in any kind of way. They were just in the back of the book. And he wrote in there something like 365 days of good moments. Write down good moments every day this year. Now, yeah, I'm clearly a journaler. I like to do stuff like that, but it was a nice journal. But this was a half-assed attempt at a gift. And I knew that right away because I know how he is and I know how thoughtful he is. And this wasn't that. And I was just like, well, we have a second part of our date later. So I'll wait and see because maybe he's like me Maybe he's, building this up. So we go back to my house, hang out. Interestingly enough, he tries to make some sushi. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, my gift is going to be so top tier when he gets it. He goes to pick up his kids, and we're going to meet up later. We're going to go visit my line sister at the hospital, and we're also going to go see Wicked that night. I go to pick up his chef coat from the embroiderer, and I come back to my house to pack up this gift, and I notice that his Apple Watch is here. Now, typically, that wouldn't mean anything. He's left his watch around before, but for some reason, I noticed. I spent some time packing his gift with my line sisters on the phone. We were all FaceTiming. We do this often. And as I got ready to leave the house to go see my line sister, the watch was like, hey, come check me out. And I was like, no, why would I do that? I don't look through his stuff. There's no need. I said, hey, I'm gonna need you to come here. Okay, so here's the thing. I made an agreement with myself that if I could remember his password, then I would go in. But if I had to look in my notes where his passwords are, then I wouldn't go in. How do I have his passwords? Funny you should ask. In May, right after he asked me to be his girlfriend, something very similar happened to the day that he told me that he needed to tell me something. We are laying around, I'm laying on his chest, and we are watching videos on his phone from Instagram. And he gets a text message. It's like 11 something at night. And it just said, hey, what you doing? And his heart started beating so fast. The name was just a color. That's all. The name just said a color. And I said, who is that color? Let's just call it turquoise. Who is turquoise? And his heart starts beating. I said, your heart is beating very fast. I need you to start talking. And he's like, turquoise is just a friend that I talk to. We talk, and, turquoise has a boyfriend, but sometimes, we flirt. I said, oh, okay. So I said, you need to respond to that text message. He texts back, hanging out with Britt. And then he can't calm down. I can feel him. I said, let me ask you something. Are there things in that text message thread that would make me upset or feel disrespected? And he's like, yeah. I said, okay, well, you just asked me to be your girlfriend officially. Prior to that, you could do whatever you wanted to do because we weren't official. But I didn't sign up for this. So you need to figure out where you want to be, what you want to do, and leave me out of it if you want to be doing shit like that. Only time that I've ever questioned his fidelity was in that moment. And he says, okay. He gets up, he apologizes, he goes home. The next day, he calls me from a totally different number. He's changed his whole entire phone number, and he gave me every password to everything. His Instagram, his cell phone, his watch, everything that you can think of. And I said, this is a lot. He was like, I just want you to know that I'm serious about you. I'm committed, and, nobody else, blah, 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 blah. I stored that in my notes and never touched it. I've only scanned by it. I never touched it.